Hey, Matt Morris at mattmorris.com. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to do a three-part show here on how to build a rock-solid belief system. I am here in the Miami airport, here for just a few hours. Did the Grant Cardone's Network Marketing Mogul show, had a blast. If you don't know Grant, look him up. Incredible, incredible trainer. And listen, my miso soup here is too hot to eat, so on the first show here, I'll let that cool. Got a little seaweed salad that we'll eat. But and sushi on the way. So listen, this is something I'm super passionate about because it had such a profound impact on my success. So I don't know if you relate to this at all, but it took me 5 years to get to a full-time income as an entrepreneur, specifically in network marketing. And I was amazingly frustrated, beating my head against a wall. It was like year after year after year. It was almost like it got more painful because I got more frustrated. You know, it felt like I was doing the work, I was learning, things like that, but results just weren't manifesting. And when I really figured out how, you know, how to build a rock solid belief in myself, then that showed up for other people. It showed up in my confidence, it showed up in my leadership ability, and results started to happen in a big way. I felt like I was an overnight success, but it took 5 years to get there. And I just want to share with you some of the insights, and I think it can be amazingly powerful for you, because if you look at the level of income that you're earning, it's exactly what you believe you should be earning. And people argue with me on that, and you know, people are like, no, I may only be making $30,000 a year, but I believe I should be making $1 million a year. Well, if you really did believe that, you would be earning it. You'd figure out a way to get to $1 million a year if you really believed it. And so listen, I'm taking my game to a whole nother level. You know, my goal is to get to $1 million a month in income, and if I want to earn $1 million a month, what I have to focus on, obviously I have to focus on the tactical stuff. There's things that I need to do and execute on, but what I believe is more important in getting to $1 million a month is I've got to program, I've got to brainwash myself to become mentally, through my belief system, that I'm $1 million a month kind of guy. Okay, so I'm speaking to myself as much as I'm speaking to you, but I want to let you in on my internal conversation here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to break it up into 3 shows, and I'm going to talk about the 3 different ways that you build your belief system. And let's talk about the first way. Now, the first way that you build a rock-solid belief is really based on experiences you've had. Now, experiences are something that shapes belief. It's one of the first things that shape belief is the experience that you have. Now, here's what an amateur will do. If you don't understand this, you'll have an experience in your life. Maybe you fail. Maybe something happens and you have a bad experience, and you create meaning around that. See, we are meaning-making machines, and we make up meaning that's largely bullshit. Okay, you gotta, and listen, the positive and the negative, they're both bullshit. This is what I was talking with Grant about, is, you know, you have an experience, like my dad, as an example. When I was about 11 years old, my dad was an alcoholic. He dropped me off at the library, had a book report to do, and the library closed, and you know, I was supposed to call Dad to pick me up. I would call home at the payphone, back when we had those, and he never answered. He never came to pick me up. It was raining outside. They closed the library, and I stood out there for, I don't know, half an hour after the library closed, underneath the little thing, hoping my dad would come. He never came. So I ran a couple miles home in the rain. Luckily, I knew the way home. And I got home, and Dad was passed out drunk. So, you know, that was an experience that I had. And, you know, there were 2 things that could have happened. I could have, and maybe I did at the time a little bit, I could have said, oh, poor me. You know, Dad left me, I'm not loved, I'm not good enough, you know, I got abandoned, and I could use that story, I could create a meaning based on that experience and have that disempower me. Or I could choose the latter. I could choose to, sushi's here, awesome, thank you. So, or I could choose to have a positive meaning. So what positive meaning could come from that? Well, it taught me independence. It taught me that I could, you know, take care of myself, that I could find my way, that even if there was an obstacle, you know, I'm gonna find my way home. So it created independence. right? So what I choose to believe now is because that happened, because that negative thing happened, I'm grateful that it happened because it made me a more powerful person. Another example, when I was about 26 years old, I got $100,000 in debt. I started a company, had a partner, just bad business moves, and ended up $100,000 in debt. Now, luckily, at the time, I had understood this belief thing, and I remember taking a walk. I had to lay off some of my employees, one of which was one of my really good friends. Had to lay them off, and I remember taking a walk around our office building, and I had a talk with myself. And, you know, I could have chosen to believe I'm a really bad business person because I failed, because I was $100,000 in debt, because I had to let other people down. Or I could choose to believe that because of that failure, I'm an amazing business person. I'm an amazing leader because now I know what not to do. I'm not going to make that same mistake twice, and it's going to make me more powerful as an entrepreneur. And I just said, you know what? I've got to believe that I'm more powerful because of this failure. So one of the things that I want you to have an awareness about is the meaning that you create based on experiences that you've had. And you can go back into your life, you can go back into your childhood, and maybe something happened. Maybe your mom said something negative, your dad said something negative, maybe they beat you up, maybe you were abused. Whatever it is, if you've been holding on to that as a negative experience, you have, for your sake, you got to flip it. You got to create a meaning that you're more powerful because of it. See, I failed in business a lot. And because I failed in business a lot, I can relate to other people. I can help other people. So I'm grateful for those failures. So you got to figure out a way to become grateful for whatever negative shit has happened in your life, no matter how negative it is. And one of this was hugely empowering to me. I met a girl named Amanda one time, and her card said, "Thank God I," and I wish I knew where she was. It was, I think, thankgodi.com. I've gone to the website, it's not there, but I met her at an event, and I said, so tell me about this Thank God I. And she said, thank God I was abused, thank God I was raped, thank God I was, I mean, all of this really bad stuff. And she had figured out a way to create a positive meaning based on an amazing amount of negative shit that happened in her life. And because of that, guess what? She became a lot more powerful. So you can be a lot more powerful if you'll have the awareness and realize that nothing has meaning until you give it meaning. So whatever negative story you've created based on your experiences, it's bullshit. Make a positive experience. That's bullshit too, but at least it's an empowering level of bullshit. So I didn't realize I was gonna do a show on bullshit, but hey, there we go. So listen, that's part one. I'm gonna eat some soup here, and I'll come back for show two in a little bit. Thanks so much. Go make life an adventure.